Wednesday, December 3rd, we got news that a NASCAR owner, Bob Jenkins of Front Row Motorsports, had this contract with a driver where the driver was paid over $2 million, but there was a stipulation that the driver would pay a charity ran by that owner $500,000. This could explain some of the accounting in NASCAR and how teams say they haven't turned a profit in years. So I think yesterday we might have gotten a glimpse at how NASCAR teams have been hiding the profit. This isn't foreign to corporations to hide the money, to take the money and spend it somehow. Back in the day, they used to pay their employees more money when the economy was better and all that stuff. But nowadays, they can take the money and they can license their own name to themselves. Now, of course, this is to hide profit. This is to take money that you have made and give it to yourself and avoid paying taxes. So one of the ways that we may have found that teams, or at least this team in particular, with this contract, tried to hide some money is by paying the driver too much money, in my opinion, for what that driver was, but then seeing that that driver was required to then pay $500,000 of that back to a religious charitable organization owned by the team owner, in which way the team owner could take the money from the team, give it to the driver, and then get it back from the driver. Thus, when you look at the expenses for the team, they break even or they go negative because they paid the driver all this money, where in reality, the team paid the driver, so their books look perfectly normal. But then the driver's contract says you got to take some of that money, a portion of it, in this case like a quarter of it, and then give it back to the owner, not directly, but in a way that the owner can sort of take that money and sort of hide it, making their money as an owner, thus making profit. But to the tax people, to the people who run the government, they can say, look, I own this team and it didn't make any money. And the driver can say, look, I made all this money, but look, I gave all this money to charity. And then the owners of that charity can say, look, we're a religious charity. We don't have to pay taxes. And then that charity can have a board and then pay their board members whatever they want. Is it starting to make sense? Or take the money and just send it to the Caymans and have some ghost Swiss bank account or something. We don't know if NASCAR has this in all of the teams, if all owners are trying to make money this way, paying their drivers an exorbitant amount of money and then getting some of it back through a charitable religious organization. But there's no way that NASCAR teams aren't making money. You don't stay in business if you don't make money. You don't get investors if you don't make money. So I think this is going to be a big sticking point. This might be the only way that NASCAR can win this trial, is by proving that the team owners are making money and that they're hiding the money if they can expose that this is the way that it's going on, which will be an even bigger story and would probably rock the entire sports landscape if it comes out that NASCAR teams are doing these shady business practices. And it would probably run off a lot of sponsors. So I hope that the teams are not all following this business model. I hope some of them are genuinely trying to win races and that's all that matters to them. But the wins mean nothing to people who don't get the trophies. So this development didn't resonate with the reporters from NASCAR, which I don't think Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi are terrible reporters. I think once you're in NASCAR, you become part of the bubble and you become part of the lingo where everything has to have a positive spin on it. If this is the standard operating in NASCAR, and this is how all the drivers sort of make their money and pay back the owners and hide the money for the owners, then I think this is going to do some irreparable damage to NASCAR. It's going to sully the reputation of almost all the drivers, and it's going to leave NASCAR in a position where they are maybe look like the good guys, but all the people in the sport are scumbags. That could possibly be the outcome. This is probably a lawsuit that NASCAR is better for losing or settling immediately. But if they don't want to do that, then this is This is going to be damaging for a long time.